Well, good evening, everyone. This is September 5th, 2023, and we're all back from the Labor Day weekend. I hope you had a wonderful weekend with your family and all of you who work so hard to take care of yourselves and your loved ones and your community and your nation and this earth, all the things that you do. I hope you rewarded yourself with a little bit of treat for the Labor Day weekend. And we are here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the evening. This is Ask the Doctor Anything from Tustin Longevity Center. We are a group of 10 healthcare providers that are working to look at preventative, alternative, functional, integrative ways to try and help our patients. One of the things that we do every week is open this up to our community to just ask any question you want. And I will give you my best off-the-cuff answer as to how a functional doctor would look at the situation, possible management suggestions. And the standard of care in our medical degrees, we have medical doctors and naturopaths, and we have the nurse practitioner and physician assistants. And so all of us will use our standard allopathic medical training, but what we have unique here is our wide experience in the functional alternative medicine. So we meet every month, the second Tuesday of every month, and we do what we call our grand rounds. And all the clinicians meet together, and we bring up patient case studies. We bring up news article research material to discuss. And the whole purpose is to try and grow and learn and help each other to do better for our patients. This is not meant to be personal medical advice. This is educational. So the responses I give are for a general approach to a question or condition that is put before me. I don't necessarily know the answers to everything, but I'll give you my best approach. Many times the patient helps the physician grow and learn, and certainly in family practice, general practice, my patients have helped me to grow and to continue to learn and search and reach out for their care and purposes. If this is a benefit to you and if this is something you want to see continue, I would please ask you to like this and subscribe and to share with your friends and family as another resource for you to try and get a doctor to respond to your questions. So with that, we have our email questions. Then I have several pages again, and we will try and get to these. We have a YouTube chat. Please type in your questions there for the live audience. And so just try and do that. I'll try and defer to the people who are present on the channel asking their questions. And I will go to these, and I'll do my best to get through them all. I do have some articles that I think are valuable to discuss. And so I'm going through this every week of my life. So if there's a lull, I'll try and get to them. So because I don't see any in the chat, and I'll go to the emails, if you sign up for our emails at tlcdoctors.com and you get on the email list, tell them that you want to be a part of asking questions for the Ask the Doctor Anything, and you'll get information and links in the email. And at that link there, you can type in your question to me, and they get them to me right at the end of the day, so I don't have much prepping time. But let's begin with the first one, and that's from Elizabeth. And she asks, "Hi, Dr. Ellithorpe. I have a question regarding toe fungus. I remember you saying recently that Argentyn helps with toe fungus. What else would help? Thank you." Well, the toenails really grow at a much slower rate than the fingernails. And the toes, over time, our distal parts, especially our feet, take a lot of damage as we live. And the tiny, tiny capillaries that make up the blood perfusion to the toe get beat up pretty badly as we age. And those little tiny, teeny hair-like, thread-like, spider web-like, much, much tinier even than the diameter of a single strand of a spider web, is the capillary that is going to bring the health, repair, and nutrition to the toe. Therefore, you can easily mess up the circulation to your toes and to the nail bed by eating a carbohydrate, sugar, fruit sugar treat, which clogs up the circulation. You can harm it by eating late at night and making your blood flow have to work on your gut for hours instead of having freer blood flow at night to work on repairing your body. I emphasize the blood flow because that's the only way you're going to get any repair to a cell membrane. And the immune system will bring the white cells and the repair, nutrition, the oxygen that will help prevent the overgrowth of fungus. And fungus loves sugar, and fungus loves a low oxygen environment and the dark. So get your feet out of covered toes and try and have open toe shoes. Try and rotate your shoes or put on white socks. Don't sleep with footing, socks on. Drink enough water to get the perfusion, the hydraulics going. Exercise so you burn down your starch and carbohydrates and fruit sugars for the day. And then if you paint on with Argentyn silver, this is a known antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral element. Argentyn silver is 23 parts per billion of the silver. So that is very good at killing fungus, bacteria, and viruses. Over the counter, I think the product is called Sovereign Silver, but if you're getting it from the clinic here, physicians can get a much higher strength called Argentyn silver. Now, enzymes help kind of like Pac-Man to get through those capillaries, to open them up with your low-carb diet, your exercise, your water. And that would be the approach that I would take. It's going to take you a full year of doing this regularly to gradually see the improvement going away. You should see your doctor and have them test your fasting blood sugar. You should get your fasting sugars under 85. Your insulin should be tested fasting, and your insulin should be under 4, F-O-U-R, 4, the number 4. And the triglycerides should be no higher than your high density lipoprotein. So if your HDL with exercise is in the 50s or 60s, then your triglycerides should be in the 50s and 60s. And your hemoglobin A1C should be 5.2 or less. Otherwise, you're going to promote the growth of yeast and fungus and have the sugar inflammatory damage, and it'll be difficult to heal. So that's what I would do there. Joanna says, hi, can you explain what EDTA chelation is? Also, my husband has fungus on one of his big toenails that he has had for years. He has been putting iodine on it for about a year, but it still hasn't gone away. Is there something you can recommend he try? His mother also has the problem. Well, just refer to what I said above to Elizabeth regarding all the things for the circulation. But another thing would be to help circulation and tissue repair to resist fungal infestations is EDTA chelation therapy. So ethylene diamine tetracetic acid is a man-made amino acid that has a 3D spatial relationship and a charge on it. And all heavy metals that are toxic, lead, mercury, aluminum, arsenic, cadmium, gadolinium, uranium, all of these are positively charged, and the amino acid that is made, EDTA, is negatively charged. And it attracts it, so it pulls it out, and you pee it out through kidney. It's been around for over 70 years. It's been used by forward-thinking clinicians and practitioners for 70 years. The American Academy for the Advancement of Medicine was built upon helping to provide advanced training for chelation therapy for practitioners, medical doctors. It is by prescription, and we have done tremendous amount of research on this. We worked on the pharmacokinetics for the suppository delivery system, but again, it's by prescription only, so you'd have to see your doctor. Now, if you go onto YouTube and you type in on YouTube, TAC Update 2019, Dr. Lamas, and that's TACT, all capitalized, TACT, and that stands for the Trial to Assess Chelation Therapy. And it is a National Institute of Health funded study that went on for 10 years, involving over 1,700 adults who had suffered heart attacks, managed under the standard of care, and were additionally given the EDTA chelation. And of the half that received it, there was massive improvement in their cardiovascular health and longevity, and not suffering the secondary consequences of heart attacks at the rate of which a typical heart attack with the standard of care would have, for getting another heart attack, more unstable angina, and things like that. So the Trial to Assess Chelation Therapy is TACT Update 2019, Dr. Dr. Lamas, Lamas. That's a 15-minute summary by the head of cardiology at Cedars-Sinai, who I know, and when we were running the study over the 10 years, he spoke with us at the American College for the Advancement of Medicine, and describes how he was not for EDTA chelation, and then due to the persistence of doctors providing it and finally his patients requesting it, he finally succumbed to starting to use it and seeing its benefits, and then had the study, and now he uses it regularly, and you can hear it from his own mouth about the details of the trial. On the same page that you see the TACT Update 2019, Dr. Lamas, about a video or two right underneath it, you're going to see the image of a woman, her face, and the ACAM conference there, and it's a 1-hour lecture, and it goes over the entirety of the science of EDTA chelation therapy in research for all-cause diseases. This is a 1-hour lecture that's excellent. Dorothy Merritt, Merritt, medical doctor, internal medicine from Texas, is the one who is narrating this, and she does a fantastic summary as to the entirety of the chelation improving for kidneys, cognitive, anti-aging, longevity, on, and is tremendously cited well with excellent documentation. So that's the other one I would watch, Joanna. So hopefully that'll help you. I do chelation all the time. I try and do it once a month or 10 times a year. I've probably done 200-300 IVs since age 16, and I'm now 70. Jennifer asks, what do you recommend for pain and inflammation? I have sciatica, unstable sacroiliac joints, and arthritis. Thank you for your help. Well, I would go to a functional doctor who's going to find out your blood type, because blood type does matter, because I find arthritis to be more dominant in O-type blood people. And but you can, of course, get it if you're an A and AB as well, or a B, but always tend to have reactivity to the genetic modification of grains so much in the society, along with homogenized pasteurized dairy, that the dietary tube of the stomach is so impacted and inflamed with damage to the single membrane of the one cell membrane separating the world outside, what you swallow in, is actually still the outside of the world. And there's only one membrane thick, like this picture here, separating you from the outside world, what you take in, and all the lectins and food inflaming activities that are contained in the structure of the fruits and vegetables and the grains. These are called lectins, and there are oxalates, and there are phytates, there are tannins, and so forth. And that would be one thing. Find out your blood type. I would fast, because usually if we empty our stomach out and we don't eat, and by the way, this is the day after Labor Day, and like most of my patients know, I do that 5-day fast twice a year, starting after the Labor Day dinner. So I'm in the middle of it. So I'm empathetic to people who haven't fasted. I worked up to this, so I'm not recommending you just jump into a 5-day fast like me. But my husband is O-type blood, and he has, always been an argument in our family about what I want to feed him and so forth. So I asked him, because at 75 now, his hands are very painful, even to turn a doorknob or to use his hammer. He's an English teacher and then a carpenter, and he was just in so much pain. I finally said to him, will you please not eat for 2 days? Just go on a fast. And he reluctantly obeyed, and he really did it. He went on a water fast. And on the second day, he came to me, and of course, he used systemic enzymes for the pain. We use Vitalzyme XE here. We use systemic enzymes, or Vascuzyme. These are taken on an empty stomach. They work as little Pac-Men to get rid of inflammation, damaged cell membranes that are poked through, whether it's your cartilage or tendon or sinus congestion or bacteria or whatever it is. So the enzymes help clear away the injured cells. And the fasting stimulates growth hormone secretion. So it's a win-win situation. And then when you're fasting, most people drink a lot more water, and water is excellent for the lubrication and diffusion into the cartilage to moisten it, because cartilage doesn't have circulation. So on the second day, he came to me and he was flabbergasted that 80 to 90% of all his intense pain had gone away. And he was so motivated, he went to the third day. He has remained absolutely grain-free and dairy-free ever since. So, Jennifer, that's what I would do, is go on a 2-day fast, drink a lot of water if you're not an insulin-dependent diabetic. This is how we approach in otherwise healthy people that have arthritis. And then we tell them to drink half their weight in water. So if you're 150 pounds, that's 75 cut in half as your pounds, and that would mean 75 ounces. Along with the enzymes, along with the 2-day fast, and you should see a tremendous improvement. Now, hormone replacement helps arthritis, and eating enough healthy phospholipids. Remember, this membrane here is made of phospholipids and protein, fat and protein. It's not made of fruits and vegetables. So you have to repair your joint with eating enough healthy proteins and fats. Katharina says, my 19-year-old daughter is taking a course this semester which requires her to work with horses once a week. She is moderately allergic to them, and I was wondering what could she take. She gets hives, itchy throat. Benadryl worked. Diphenhydramine is Benadryl, and that worked for her, but it makes her tired. If you have a natural or homeopathic recommendation that works, what would you recommend? Thank you. Well, I would say, Katharina, quercetin, which is in the DHIS seasonal allergy item that we carry here. DHIS is made by Orthomolecular, and dehyst is very, very rich in quercetin, which is God's natural antihistamine in the world. Plenty of water also would be helpful. So that would be the direction I would go. And how much would I take? It isn't just a capsule or two to load up all the reactive receptor sites that would react to allergens. You would have to take a loading dose the first day. So if you're going to take dehyst seasonal allergies, I would take 8 the first day, 6 the second day, 4 the third day, and I would stay on at least 2 a day. And that's how I would run that. Now, I'm not against standard medicine, loratadine and citrazine. That's Allegra and Zyrtec. It's a non-drowsy synthetic antihistamine. And there are some people that have such bad allergies they have to take them. I use dehyst seasonal allergies is another name for it, and I use 2 every day of my life. I'm a B positive blood, and I tend to have tremendous allergies. So that helps me with my animal hair. Hopefully it'll help your daughter. Sharon says, do you have a referral or suggestion for an integrative psychiatrist in the area? My loved one has bipolar, currently unmedicated, and has mania, paranoia, and delusions for 6 months. He does not think he is ill. Well, Sharon, of course, you need to see have your loved one go to a psychiatrist for management. But the bipolar and schizophrenia, these have been well studied in orthomolecular medicine. If you Google orthomolecular medicine, Dr. Abrams or Abramson, orthomolecular medicine, Dr. Abramson. He's a old, I don't think he's practicing anymore, but he's one of the foundations of the functional movement, the integrative healthcare. And he worked very hard with the psychiatric, especially schizophrenics, and the gut health. So gut health is associated with your production of serotonin, and serotonin is very valuable in our mood, and a bad American standard diet will destroy the gut, along with all the genetic modifications. So we typically say all natural, no processed food, in particular, if you wanted to go 100% a carnivore diet. And then the B vitamins, methylated B complexes, are very, very valuable, along with the clinician's preference parent essential oils. These are the very fats that help the membrane be less irritable, less triggered with the membrane potential that is in the body. We're electrochemical beings. So our diets have been stripped of healthy fats, healthy foods, and clogged up with all the hydrogenated fats in processed food to extend its shelf life. Therefore, the cell membranes, more than you realize it, are damaged like this area here. And it's difficult if we don't eat healthy fats like linoleic, alpha-linolenic fats. And that comes from eating the egg yolks and the meat and the chicken with the skin on it and the fish, and healthy seeds, sunflower seeds, walnuts and stuff have the phospholipids and the essential fats in it. So a diet that is a carnivore diet that has egg yolks in it is very valuable. The methylated B complex is very valuable. There is a doctor in Newport Beach. His name is Dr. Amen. It is called the Amen Clinic, A-M-E-N, just like you say amen at the end of a prayer. There are functional psychiatrists there, and they have a tremendous impact with functional medicine and the diet and exercise for people. And they really respond, in my opinion, what I've seen from it, very, very well from that. So hopefully that helps you, Sharon. Robert says, Dr. Meric and I was puzzled why my fructosamine was 247 after I've been on the keto diet for many years. Dr. Meric said it should be under 200. All my other labs were great. I eat meat and cruciferous vegetables and have done so for years. Also, I do a 5-day fast twice a year. I take Juice Plus, I take systemic enzymes, and I drink half my weight in water as ounces, all the TLC recommendations. I don't eat any fruit and avoid any sugar. Where is it coming from? Well, here's the shocking news, Robert. When the glycosylation, the advanced glycosylated end products called aging products of fructose come into the body, it sticks to the protein like a crab, and it's irreversible. It is irreversible. You have to literally recreate the whole cheek, so to say, to get a whole new cells growing and everything, which takes years. And so that fructose is locked on, kind of like the alien, if you saw the alien and it jumped on the guy's face. So fructose is an irreversible biochemical reaction. So you could have had a Coke 15 years ago full of high fructose corn syrup, and that is still being measured in your body. So that is why young people are really hurting their immune system, and you have to wake the parents up. There's a wonderful video out there on that, and that is by a pediatric endocrinologist who is so upset about the corrupt American Dietetic and Nutrition Advisory Board that creates the American Dietary Guidelines, that he went to a sabbatical to go to law school, and he's trying to fight the corporations here because the children are really suffering. Even the kids are getting liver transplants because fructose is so damaging to the liver, where it's essentially primarily metabolized. Now, the name of the video is called Sugar, the Bitter Truth. And he says the word sugar because a sugar molecule is a dimer of two pieces of sugar. One is glucose and the other is fructose. So 50% of that white stuff in the teaspoon of sugar is fructose. And then on top of it, they synthetically created high fructose corn syrup that is in everything. It's the most sweet tasting, addictive, hunger driving food substance I think we know of. And you watch Sugar, the Bitter Truth, and then you will hear about its irreversible attachment of glycosylation to a protein. And that's why the fructosamine is so hard to change. And I tell my patients, even a year from now, if we see a fructosamine of 250 go down to 245, I'm happy because I can see that they have changed their diet and lifestyle where it's not building up. Hopefully that helps you, Robert. Debbie said, hi, Dr. Rita. Does it break your fast if you have a teaspoon of coconut creamer in your coffee? It has 1 carb, 1 gram of organic coconut sugar. Thanks so much for your dedication to helping us, folks. Well, thanks so much for who you are. You were created in the image of God, and you are very valuable. So we should pour out all we can to try and help you all. All right. Well, no, it's not really breaking your fast if you're doing that. If you have pretty much a fasted state and you're only having a cup of coffee with that coconut cream, I would call it a fair fast. So don't let that inhibit you either. A lot of people will put a tablespoon of butter in their coffee when they go on a fast. And when I first started learning how to fast and fasting for myself, I started with coffee with butter in it. Now, when I fast like these 5 days, I'm just hardcore, I guess. I just stop eating, period. And I keep my exercise, my work schedule, everything up. Maybe as I get older, maybe I'll have to slow it down. But I drink black coffee. But I've got my rules and my 20-ounce cup right here of water. I have to drink for every glass or mug of coffee I allow myself. So enjoy your coconut little creamer there. Carl says, hello again, Dr. E. You stalwart, you. Okay, well, bless your heart, Carl. You guys keep me stalwart. You keep me on my toes so I can try and be a help. What is your experience with triglycine testing? I'm not sure if this was spelled correctly. Tigly, glycine. Are you trying to say triglyceride testing? Is it a valid test to assess mitochondrial DNA damage? Also, is fasting insulin level a good marker for mitochondrial function? Thanks for your help. So I'm going to have to take this and look and Google Tiglylglycine testing. I've never heard of it, but I've heard of triglyceride testing. And yes, triglyceride testing is very predictive of mitochondrial function. One of the things you have to realize is I would like you to visualize this. Let's say you're cold and you want to warm up and you have this wood burning stove in the middle of your room and the windows are all shut and so forth. And you take a bunch of sawdust and you start it on fire in the stove and it flames up very violently and has a huge flame in the stove and the heat goes up. But in minutes or seconds even, that very flaky sawdust is going to burn down. So you have to take another scoop of sawdust and you're stuck feeding that stove all day long with another scoop of sawdust, another scoop of sawdust. And that's what eating sugar, starch, bread, pasta, cracker, beans, cereal, bagels, cake, soda pop, juicing, all these things. It's such a high sugar, it's such a cheap, quick, fast energy kick to the cell to be burnt up in the, so to say, the little stoves or engines called the mitochondria. And so you're constantly putting on a flare like that. Whereas, let's say you used a handful of sawdust to create a flame, but you put logs on top of it. And then the logs caught on fire and are snuggled up to each other and they're kind of reflecting off of each other in the stove. And you get this constant slow burn and warming of the room through the heavy, big, thick logs. That's like metabolizing fat. And so I want you to understand the marketing has made us all addicted to cheap, quick stopping for some French fries or a donut or a sugared up coffee latte or a candy bar or these fake things called protein bars that are really just excuses for getting a sugar fix. And you flame up with all this metabolic energy. And there are waste products to that. So every molecule of glucose that's processed through the mitochondria to convert into energy has free radical waste. And that free radical waste or soot or smoke, you might say, has to be handled as well with antioxidants. So if you're not taking a good antioxidant, drinking water, I think of drinking enough water as basting your body. You're like a 98.6 temperature, slow roasting roast for, 70 years, 80, 90, 100 years of your life. So the waste material is going to damage the mitochondria. That's why people who fast, do intermittent fasting, eat a higher fat content diet, have sustained energy, a slow burn, and they can go days without eating and mobilize and use their fat. So they generate far less free radicals and they live longer for that reason. So insulin is a reflection of the alarm bell. So if you take down your throat the sugar, cheap energy, high carbohydrate, bread, pasta, bagel, whatever, Krispy Kreme, and so forth, then the pancreas is going to shoot out a lot of insulin. That insulin is a growth promoting factor, probably one of the most potent. It's responsible for getting skin tags if you always have a high carbohydrate diet and you get the skin tags around your belt line and in your groin on the inside of your legs where your thighs rub against each other. Wherever there's constant friction, you'll wind up getting all these skin tags, and that just reflects the high spike of sugar and then the insulin promoting growth, abnormal skin repair from the chronic little rubbing and irritation. So yeah, fasting insulin needs to be low as well. Wendy asked the question, what is the healthiest, most effective way to lose weight for a woman who may be perimenopausal? I'm 5'5", 140 pounds, and my cardiologist and gastroenterologist want me to lose weight, but it's been a struggle. I'd like to get down to at least 130 pounds and maintain it. What do you suggest? Well, that's the question of the ages, isn't it? With all the marketing and the TV, Instagram, social media. But we have too much food availability. We're eating it, snacking all the time. We're spiking up our sugars. The insulin's rushing in, and the insulin is going to hold on to fat and storage, because this constant drive up of sugar, trying to shove it into cells for storage so that the mitochondria aren't over burning up, is why we see this as a simplistic way to describe it. So you would have to go and learn about intermittent fasting, adequate water, time-restricted eating, to always have yourself only eat in, say, maybe a 4 to 6 hour window and live with that. You would have to start eating fat, richer diets so that the largest proportion of your calories comes from fat. The second largest portion would be from healthy proteins, free range, wild-caught sources. And then the lowest would be the carbohydrate content, fruit sugar content of your diet. You would have to put in weight training, because if you're perimenopausal, your muscle mass is starting to diminish with aging. And so hard, weightlifting, weight resistance training will need to be used. And then doing a brisk walk, 20, 30 minutes, 3 times a week, where during the walk, let's say the first 3 minutes, warm up, and then you burst out as fast as you can walking, or into a little jog for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And then you stop and you go back to your fast-paced walk until you recover 3 minutes later. Then you start up again for a 30-second, 20-second burst. That's putting some intensity, and that stimulates mitochondrial production, which will help burn down fat and carbohydrates and so forth. That's where I would begin, Wendy. I see one of the questions here are showing up on the YouTube, and that's from Marella. Okay, I have a fungus toenail. I did laser and it came back. What's the root cause? Well, the root cause would be we're all lying to ourselves as a population that our cells are being damaged, and we are being told to eat a plant-based diet, which is higher in sugar, and we've already hurt ourselves primarily with way too many sugars for a lifetime. We've probably all had more cake and candy than kings and queens of ages before us. And that has hurt and promoted fungal overgrowth in our gut, insulin resistance, higher blood average sugars that our corrupt medical system is interpreting as the norm for the population average. I don't want to be compared with anyone but what health is and myself alone. So I want to keep my fasting blood sugars in the 50s and 60s. That's my personal rule. For my patients, I at least want it under 85. And my insulin, I want under 3. And my hemoglobin A1C, I want it under 5.2. and my triglycerides, I wanted to equal my HDL, high density lipoproteins. So that would be somewhere around 50 or less. Now, sugar promotes feeding and fermenting and growth of fungus. Sugar suppresses the immune system, so fungus can grow more easily. So yeah, if you don't change your lifestyle, the damage will come back. So it's the American Standard Diet. In fact, one of my articles that I have, all right, this is called Conflicts of Interest for Members of the United States 2020 Dietary Guideline Advisory Committee. Conflicts of interest would be if you're advising on the diet and you tend to support a pyramid that they've done since 1980, that the grains and cereals, breads and pasta, 7 to 11 servings a day is the foundation of a healthy diet in America, recommendations. But you also are sponsored by Kellogg and General Mills and the new Ozempic studies from the pharmaceuticals for diabetes management and things like this. That's a conflict of interest. You cannot be an advisor if you are being paid by the very industry that's asking you what's the best thing to eat. And so one of the statements here on this article published at Cambridge University Press, this was published, when was this published? In 2022, March 21. And the authors are Melissa Mialon, Mialon, and she's the principal author. Let me just give you the conclusion here. Our analysis found that 95% of the committee members had conflicts of interest with the food and or pharmaceutical industries, and that particular actors, including Kellogg, Abbott, Kraft, Mead Johnson, General Mills, and so on and so forth. 95% of the members. In fact, one of the members, so on this lengthy many-page thing, one of the members, and they have all the members' names listed there, one of the members had 152 conflicts of interest connected to 31 different industries. But she's going to give us the right advice on how to eat for our hospitals, for our school systems, for our military, for our retirement centers, for all of us. It's going to be dictated by these bought-off people. It's just criminal. It is just criminal how much they have been bought off by these industries. So it's just one article. The title again is Conflicts of Interest for Members of the U.S. 2020 Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee, 21 March 2022. This is Cambridge University Press, and it's the actual publication is called Public Health Nutrition. That's one article. Then another article I have is called The Corporate Capture of the Nutrition Profession in the United States of America, the Case of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So you're going to go and send your child off to study and become a good nutritionist or a good dietitian. You're going to send them to a medical school or a university to get their certified clinical nutrition degree. And the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is going to be the guideline for what that child's going to be taught to tell their patients. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It turns out that, let's go to the summary also. Let's go back to the summary here. Conclusion. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and its foundation assists the food and beverage, pharmaceutical, and agribusiness industries through their large network of professionals and students, their lax internal policies on corporate partnerships, and their topical position papers. And it just goes on to say they can't be relied upon. This is what's advising you how to eat, and they're all supporting a plant-based diet. You will eat the bugs, and they are anti-meat. You know, I think they're bought off. And then here's another article. What's driving chronic disease? What is driving chronic disease? March 28th, 2020. And this is published by a Jeff Nobbs, who's a science researcher. Jeff, Nobbs, March 28, 2020. And Jeff Nobbs is a news publisher. So the rates of chronic conditions like heart disease, asthma, cancer, diabetes have grown 700% since 1935. Today, 6 in 10 Americans have a chronic disease. We are smoking less, drinking less, exercising more, and eating healthier, according to the American Academy for Nutrition and Dietetics. More fruits, more vegetables, less saturated fat and sodium compared to previous decades. If we're doing everything right, why do rates of chronic disease and obesity still surge and climb? Vegetable oils, or seed oils, are really what they are. Cottonseed oil, sunflower, corn oil. My father would yell at my mother in the house anytime he saw her fall for advertising about Mother Nature. I don't know if you remember that commercial that one actress was dressed up like a woman in the field and said, "I am Mother Nature, I know what's best, and margarine is better than butter." Oh, I remember that. So seed oils, which now account for 20% of our daily calories and have largely remained out of the public spotlight, may be missing, but not with me. I'm telling you, they hydrogenate the fats, and those hydrogenated fats are loading up your membranes, prematurely aging them, oxidizing them, burning them, destroying cell membrane electric potentials, and damaging cell-to-cell communication, and messing up our brains, our joints, everything. Why? Because they're hydrogenated fats. They're demonizing omega-6 linoleic acid. Demonize it all you want, but get the data straight. I told you on one of the other articles that it is the adulterated, hydrogenated linoleic acid that is harming us, because you have to hydrogenate it and destroy the double bond so it won't rot. So, and this is why omega-6, if it's adulterated, is horrible. But God never thought that we were going to go and package something and have people eat tons of it, and school systems and hospitals and our military and everyone have this shoved down our throat to try and reconstruct every day our little injuries of use of our cells, and it's destroying our health and our immune system. Anyway, one of the graphs in here is just really cool. Where is it at? This is a graph on, it's got multiple figures. All right, so here's obesity. And of course, the graph would look like this. It's just climbing and climbing and climbing with age in America from 1900 to 2020 right now. So it's climbing. And you can see here, this graph, although you can't really study it very, very clearly, this graph here is showing you that we're eating less meat, and we're eating, smoking less, and we are doing all the right things, but the the consumption of vegetable oils and grains is going up, okay? Sugar and seed oils is killing us because the grains are all hydrogenated. Look at diabetes in America, just climbing just climbing in America and in the children. Well, anyway, I don't want to bore you with this, but you have to start ask the question, where are the intelligent doctors that you can talk to? We are reversing diabetes here. We are reversing diabetes here. We are actually seeing improved perfusion nuclear scans on the heart with EDTA chelation. We are seeing weight loss, blood pressure reduction, and on it goes. So let's see. I went on a rant, sorry. And so where was I at? I missed the page. I think I was talking to the healthiest ways to lose weight. Okay. Now, Andrea asked the question, I recently got my lipid panel. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was talking about Mariella and fungus and the horrible standard American diet and their advice. Dolores says, hi, Dr. Rita, did you have a blessed Labor Day? Yes, I did. And I cooked corned beef and cabbage is what I made, okay? And do you have any idea when you will have doctor's bar? Yes, the doctor's bar, I had to go to a whole new plant, and the contrived problem with this pandemic created all the damages to shipping and production. And so long and the short of it is we're in a new place. And that the pilot is being run right now as we speak. When I get the pilot bars here, I'm going to give them away for free. And then if we approve it, then we will have them run the regular ones. So it's probably going to be October, late October, November, right at Thanksgiving. So we'll all give thanks. For 10 months, I've had to go through this hell of dealing with this on top of all the stuff I need to do here. But thank you. Those bars are wonderful, aren't they? Yeah. Garden Fairy says, hi, Garden Fairy. Is it the chemical makeup of oral synthetic estrogen that increases cancer and or the route of the delivery? Garden Fairy, women were initially in the 1950s, 1960s, 70s, we all had equine horse-based estrogen, and it's still out there in the prescription. So in the sense, if you say synthetic, we're going to say it was horse-derived and way too powerful for a woman. A horse, a mare will maybe be 2,000 pounds. A woman is 120. So give me a break. I think the hormone for a horse is going to have a lot more power than we should be taking as women. So I think it was overstimulation, and natural estradiol is beneficial and only human. And there's estradiol, there's estriol. That's primarily made during pregnancy. So boy babies don't get feminized and little girl babies don't start menstruating with their little new uterus that they have. And then the progestins were the synthetic fake, absolutely fake progestins. And these synthetics for trying to copy progesterone, and there's only one egg ovulational corpus luteum production of natural progesterone, and that's what it is. So I only use progesterone. And when that's balanced like that, you should do fine. But the studies like the Women's Health Initiative that came out in 2002, they used that on thousands, and they found the increased cancer rate for breast cancer and really ascribed that to the progestin, because it wasn't really blocking that horrible Premarin equine estrogen-based foreign estrogen molecule. So hopefully that answers it. It's not really the route of delivery. All right. Okay, so Andrea has a question. I got my lipid panel biomarkers back from the lab, and she gives her lipoprotein little a, 78, HS CRP was 4.7, cardio IQ test showed a cholesterol of 240, high LDL and low HDL. Lastly, the ApoB was 132. Most of the lipoprotein fractionation and ion mobility markers were in the high cardiovascular risk column. I'm 66-year-old female with heart disease in my family. No, really what it is it isn't in your family by genes. You're in a country that is corrupting you with American dietary guidelines, and they're not being open and honest with you, that the American Heart Association finally had to admit there is no scientific data that implicates saturated fat in heart disease. The reverse is true. But there is science that says these seed oils are associated with increased cancer rates and inflammation that does affect heart disease incidence. So it is such a nauseating, corrupt, community purchased lobbyists and sellout scientists, sellout physicians who are flooding our schools with foods that are metabolically, chronically inflaming us, damaging our military with it. Are recruiting for the military right now, and I was a big military person associated, and I had to get out because it was so corrupt. I gave up my income. I was going to be promoted to lieutenant colonel. I just said, no, thank you. I'm not going to be in a centralized authority, government imposed medical practice. I had to get out. So when we get this down to the masses of us stupid people down here, and they're telling us how to eat and how to practice medicine, that's when you have totalitarian, globalist, Marxist, and they sell it to you under, well, it's free. But I'll tell you, I was the ER doctor for years and years, and it was lousy healthcare. Everyone was coming into the emergency room because waiting at the guaranteed free medicine clinics in the military was a joke. How did I get on that? But anyway, so she said it was in her family history. No, it's in the sad American diet history. She said she's 66, blood type AB. She's going to go to her Kaiser primary care doctor who dictates how to practice medicine. Why don't you doctors get your own practice, stop selling out to corporations, and stand on your own 2 feet with a medical practice and take care of and become dedicated to a sphere of people. And then if you fail, it's because you're doing something wrong. And we vote with our feet and our dollars, and the patients won't come to you if you're a lousy doctor. That's how to do it, not hide under some military medicine, world government medicine. And that's another article. Dr. Meryl Nass is having her medical license suspended in, I think, Maine, because she's so outspoken. She's an internal medicine doctor. She's about my age, practicing the same time, 42 years. And they're taking her license away because she's speaking out against things. Well, she wrote up this tremendous article called "The WHO's Proposed Amendments Will Increase Man-Made Pandemics." And that means the World Health Organization. This article is published in brownstone.org, brownstone.org. And she published this August 17, 2023. Now, what's nice about Brownstone is it's a collection on all kinds of topics, from doctors, scientists, journalists, physicists, clergy, architect, climate people who think outside the box. And they do this. This is just a tremendous amount of reading, 30-some pages. But what's nice is you can click on it right under it on the internet, and you get the audio so it can be read to you. Now, you miss all the charts and stuff, so you'll have to go back and take a look at it. But she lays out the risk of the World Health Organization that is going to co-opt our sovereignty as a nation through our membership in the United Nations. And it will co-opt our individual national sovereignty through medical tyranny, giving the centralized authority to Tedros in the World Health Organization to say, just declare a virus of concern and implement international requirements on lockdowns, mandates, maskings, forced distancing, being injected with modified RNA impactful materials, and you'll have no say-so as a doctor, and you can't protect your patients. So this is where the tire meets the road, ladies and gentlemen. Brownstone, BROWNSTONE.org, and learn about the risk. And they're going to vote this in May of 2024. And you won't even know about it. Isn't this newsworthy? Shouldn't we treat our patients as intelligent, God-created, fantastic beings who have discernment, knowledge, ability to sort things out and impact it? So get on your phone and call your congressman for many things. Give him your opinion, give him an earful, and tell your congressman at 202-224-3121, or call your senator at 202-225-3121, and tell them that in no way do you want us to be in the United Nations and World Health Organization under the pandemic preparedness. They always flower it with, oh, we're going to protect you. We're going to give you free health care with control, and you'll be sorry if it ever is enacted. So get on the phone, let them know. All right, so let's see, what else do we have here? So, Andrea, it is not the genetic situation primarily in my experience. It is the American corrupting, inflaming, obese, insulin stimulating, cell membrane damaging diet that you're on. And when cholesterol goes up, that's your liver sensing damage, and it wants to try and help repair this membrane here, and cholesterol has to be in the membrane. You have to go on the low carb diet, just like we said. You have to learn fasting, intermittent fasting, eating grass-fed, wild-caught, free-range meat, fish, chicken, eggs. You have to stop eating at 5 or 6 o'clock. You have to exercise. You have to do some weight training, and you have to see a healthcare provider who is a functional doctor. And yes, come to a place like Tustin Longevity Center. We have 10 healthcare providers here, all working to try and chip away at the damage that's already been done. Elizabeth says, hi, Dr. Ellithorpe, do any of your products include N-Acetyl-Cysteine? I take it on my own, but I want to find a product of yours that includes it. Thank you, because that does help us stay alive. We are here and we take time off to do our grand rounds, and we're not trying to see more patients, make more money. We want to do the right thing. So N-Acetyl-Cysteine, we have it as NAC, and it's a high dose, high quality, orthomolecular produced for us supplement. I take it myself. It's 500 milligrams, and I use it once a day. It's also in my TLC Energy Core, which is our multivitamin. So I put that in there as well. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Asia says, hi, Dr. Ellithorpe. Can you suggest some natural remedies, nutrition for someone who has high blood pressure? My dad, 70-year-old, was told recently his blood pressure is high. I don't have the numbers. He's never been on any form of medication and does not intend to start. He is moderately active, not overweight. He does not smoke or drink. Thank you. God bless you and your family. Asia, he has to do all these things that I've been telling, with the fasting, low carb, more carnivore type diet. He probably needs digestive enzymes at his age, since he's your father, and I know how old you are, Asia. So EDTA chelation therapy will help the microcirculation so the heart isn't pumping against such stiff, tiny capillaries that are getting clogged up with the standard American diet and seed oils, hydrogenated fats. And he needs to be on enzymes, do both aerobic and some weight training. He should see a qualified doctor to see how healthy he is to do aerobic and exercise. He should be on enzymes to disinflame him, fasting, intermittent fasting, never eat late, and then have his insulin, triglycerides, and items like that tracked. Then you add in things like nitric oxide, promoting supplementations like we have here. Our nitrous oxide supplement has arginine rich EDTA chelation. It promotes blood vessel dilation through the action of nitric oxide. So Asia, bring your dad here and see one of the doctors. So I'm over time. Let's see, is there anything here? I'm going to have to hold these, this last one to our to next week. Yeah, so I'll do this one next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to get home. I've worked all day. Please like and subscribe. Please put a comment here about if you would like some live meetings. If you want me to hear with a live audience, please in the comments section, let me know if you would like that once or twice a month. We're bringing in national speakers. We just had one last Wednesday from the new American magazine come in talking about the United Nations and the World Health Organization and their ilk and their creators. And then we are wanting to do more videos, and some of my providers want to share in here to make this more often and more common. So please like and share. Please leave a comment on the bottom. And we do check these things, and we say, Happy Labor Day. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication to show how everyone would be blessed with a healthier lifestyle. Be the example you want to project that we're talking about. And Perry says she would like live lectures. So yeah, so we'll start doing those. So watch your emails, TLC, and we'll do it. So I'm going to say, God bless. Thank you so much, and good night.